it's Keely here for Soy and Shea, and thank you so much for joining me for today's soap making video. We're going to do this one a little bit different today. We're going to be making white peach and musk, but rather than jumping straight into the soap making, let's go make the embeds first. Let's go. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is make the peaches, and I'm going to be using some of the Pimp My Soap soap dough. We do have some of the lemon. I have got some sherbet, and then I have the darker orange. I have some red. I'm also going to be using some of the monstera, and I also need some of the chocolate. So I'm going to be using one of the little sample pieces that I've got for that. And what we'll start off with is our lemon, and we're going to make the main body of this peach. So I'm just going to pull off. I'm going for roughly about 3 grams. I have brought this home with me to do today because I was running out of time in the shop and I couldn't get it filmed. So, and I forgot to pick my scales up. But I've got a ball that's roughly about 3 grams. And then to that, we're going to use these other colors. We'll put the green to side for a moment. We're going to just break off very, very small pieces of this. And so we've got some of our sherbet, and literally we only need very, very small pieces. As I'm breaking pieces off, I'm just wrapping my soap dough back up so it doesn't dry out. We're going to get a piece of our orange, and again, let's get in there. I'm going to just pull off just a very small amount. Really doesn't need to be much, and we may not even use all of what I've pulled off either. We'll grab another piece, and this is our red, and we really don't need much of the red because it's just so bright. Okay, so we've got our lemon. Let's put the ring around the right way. Just going to roll it into a rough sort of ball. Doesn't matter that I've got a bit of red on there because that's what we're going to do. I'm going to start off with my lightest, that sherbet, and all I'm going to do is just kind of put little bits over the top of it. No rhyme or reason, just sticking them wherever they kind of end up. And I'm kind of trying to keep it nice and thin as well. Otherwise it ends up looking really bobbly. Next thing, I'm going to get my slightly darker orange, and again I'm just going to put little bits of it all over the soap. Again, no rhyme or reason, just kind of moving it around and sticking it on. We will actually use all of that, and then we're going to grab our red, and again I'm going to do the same. I'm just going to squish it out so it's nice and thin before I start, and I'm just going to put little bits of it kind of wherever they land on the top. And it really doesn't look like much right now. It looks a bit funny. But, so that's what we've got so far. Once we get that and we start rolling that, the friction from rolling that together will actually start to blend it all into each other, and that's what we're looking for. And you can actually just use your finger if it doesn't look like it's blending, just to move it around a little bit and then keep rolling. It really doesn't take much. That was 30 to maybe 45 seconds, and that is how it is starting to look. So you can see the colors are all nicely sort of mottled into each other, just as a peach would. I'm going to try and get my sort of shape of a peach now, just gently pushing the dough to where I want it to go. Peaches are generally a little bit flatter on the top and maybe a little bit pointier on the bottom, like so. You can see we've got all that nice mottled color. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my ball tool here. I have been making them before, so I've got a little bit of soap on there, but I'm going to take my finer end. I'm just going to poke a little bit of a hole in it, not too much. Then I'm going to take a bamboo skewer, and I'm just going to put that little mark down the side where we usually see the sort of join that is in a peach. And I don't want it to go too deep or too sort of wide, but what I find is if it has gone a little bit too wide, giving it a bit of a roll between the fingers will bring it back together and give it that sort of look that you see on a real peach. I have just squished up a little bit. All right, so there we've got the start of our peach. Next thing we want to do is grab some of our Monstera, and we're going to unwrap it, and then quite literally just only need a very small amount. In fact, that's probably still too much there, so I'll pull a bit of that off. So we've got just a small amount, and I'm going to put this into the shape of a leaf. You really don't need that many fancy tools to make little peaches, and the leaves on peaches are generally fairly thin, so that will do for there. To attach my leaf, I've got a little pot of water, my paintbrush, and all I'm going to do is put a little bit of water in where I made that hole, and then I'm going to just pop my leaf where I want it to go. Use my tool just to make sure that it is well stuck in there, and then using the tip of my skewer, I'm just going to put that sort of line down the middle of the leaf just to give it a little bit more of a realistic sort of look. And then to finish it off, I have got just a tiny little piece of that chocolate soap dough. Kind of roll it into a ball, stick it on the top, and then usually, because they've got that sort of funnier sort of shape in them, I'm just going to use the tip of my ball tool actually just to push down in the middle to give it that sort of look to it. And that is how simple and easy it is to make a peach. And you, as I said, you don't need any special tools to have made that. But what we're going to do is take it one step further. So let's make another one. So I'm going to pull off another sort of 3 gram piece. I've been making tons of these, so I've got kind of good at guessing how big they need to be. I think we need just a little bit more on there. Again, going to wrap it up while I'm not using it. That looks fairly good. Let's measure that. Yeah, it's about the same size. And again, we're going to grab some of our sherbet, orange and our red, and we're going to just apply little bits of that soap dough over the yellow like we did before, and then we're going to roll it up until it all blends in nicely. Now normally what I like to do is leave these sitting to one side for maybe half an hour to an hour so that they firm up a little bit, because then it makes it so much easier to actually grab a knife and chop this in half like so. Pull it off the knife gently. Now what we're going to do is we're going to grab that ball tool, and I'm actually going to use the larger end this time, and I'm going to make myself a hole just in the middle of it where the seed would normally sit. So we're going to do some peach halves, and then what I'm going to do is with a little bit of that red soap dough, I'm going to put it where that hole is like so, and then I'm going to use my tool and I'm going to kind of stick it in, but also spread that red out, because whenever you cut a peach in half, you kind of get that reddish look around where the seed is or where the stone is. So I'm just kind of smoothing it out, pulling it away so that it looks like it's kind of bleeding out into the flesh. If you look up a picture of peach halves, you'll see what the look is I'm trying to achieve here. And it could be that we scrape out a fair bit of this red while we're doing it. It really is just to stain where the flesh is. Alright, and it doesn't have to look absolutely perfect. I'm just going to smooth that back down. Now the next thing we're going to do is make our little stone. So I've got myself some more of that chocolate soap dough. I'm going to roll it up into a little ball. Again, I'm going to grab my little bit of water into the middle there, pop that on the top like so, grab a little skewer, and then I'm just going to put lots of little markings on there, trying to do it randomly so it looks like all the little grooves that you see in the top of that stone. Now hopefully that sunlight is not interfering too much. and I'm pretty pleased with how that is looking. And then just to give it a little bit more sort of character, I'm going to put that little dent in the top where the leaf would have been on our other peaches. And I've just got myself another little bit of that chocolate soap dough. Let's go there, roll it out, and then we're going to pop that little piece just in the top there. Okay, so there it is. There is our little peach half all done up. Gorgeous colouring on that piece. And here is the whole peach here. So I'm going to go finish making the rest of my embeds for the soap. And then next we're going to have a look at how I make the white peach and musk soap. Alright, so we have got all of our little peaches done. So we've got our little whole peach, and then we've got our little halves, and I have got enough for one each on each of the bars of soap. So let's get into making it. I'm going to do as I always do, pour my lye water into my oils, give it a mix, and then split it up for some colours. My base is going to be white. I have got some Wellington, some pumpkin, and some red mica in these jugs, which I will split it out for, and that's just to complement the colours on the peaches there. And we will be using white peach and musk to do the soap today, and it's one I've had from Off of Aroma. It is such a beautiful fragrance. It's got notes of peach, mint, there's some rose, violet and musk, and for anyone that knows the lolly, this one smells very much like Parma Violet. So let's get this soap made and into the mould. I'm thinking we're going to do a bit of a in the mould pour or swirl, and then I'm just getting it down. I'm going to use the hanger because it's been a while since I've used that. So I had to bring you down for a look at the top of this soap. Isn't that stunning? I had planned to have a little bit more white on the top, but it was just so fluid when I put that hanger into there. It brought a lot of that colour back up to the top, but I'm not cross with it. I think the peaches are still going to stand out, so let's get them on top. So I did actually consider doing a spoon top over it, but I just love those swirls so much. I'm going to leave it as is, and what we're going to do is pop a whole peach and then a little half peach in the middle of each of them. I actually might turn that one round so when it's cut it will look right. Don't know if you can hear it. There is a bird on the rooftop. He's walking around making a right racket up there. Alright, I think that one that I just put on there was one of the ones I probably did at home without my scales because he's a little bit bigger than the other one, but that's okay. It's looking super cute. I'm going to get all these big ones on first and then we'll finish putting the little ones. It smells absolutely beautiful, and yes, these are actually popping from off of that soap, so they're not too hidden. So I've been debating with myself whether or not to put glitter or mica on the top of this, and I decided why not, and I'm so pleased I did. I put some of that Blizzard mica on the top, and I love doing that because it really brings out some of the marks and the swirls that are actually in the soap top, and it just highlights some of those embeds as well. I'm going to leave it sit here overnight, and we'll be back very shortly. We'll cut it open and we'll see what swirls we've got on the inside. Okay, so we are back to cut into our white peach and musk, and it is looking beautiful. So let's get it all lined up into our cutter, and just trying not to knock it, seeing as it came out of the mold so beautifully. We're going to go this end lined up. Oops. And let's cut through and hopefully miss all of those little peaches, which yes we did. Thunk Ida goes, and let's grab one from out the middle and see what we've got. Ooh, that is very, very pretty. Because the soap was so fluid when I put the hanger through, we got all these beautiful little wisps in there. Absolutely gorgeous. You would never know I actually poured all of that colour down the one side of the mould. It has just completely spread over. And there is the top with our little peach and peach half. And let's grab these next two out. And there we go again. So lots of beautiful curls and wisps with our two little peaches. Absolutely love how this one has come together. Come further down. Yep, it definitely looks like I've actually poured those colours right into the middle of the mould and not down that one side. But that's what happens when you've got nice fluid soap batter. I'm not going to complain about that. Let's grab these off the end. That is beautiful. Really love the colours of this as well, and I know that this one doesn't discolour, or at least it didn't discolour the last time I used it. If you do want to see what the final bars look like, come and follow me over on Instagram and I will post final pictures of these bars there. I hope you've enjoyed coming along with me as I made my peaches and a white peach and musk soap. If you did, why not leave me a thumbs up? Any comments down below, and until the next video comes out, I hope you have a great one, and I'll see you then. Bye.